Welcome to 80s Toys from my attic, bringing you the best toys from the best decade. And once again, we have a special guest, Sean Hill. Welcome back, buddy. You did so good
Hey,
last time. You're here again.
hey, great to be back, man.
Another toy that you couldn't give two shits about. Photon and Lazer Tag. You ever hear about them?
Yeah, I've heard of laser tag. When you say photon, I think of classes I failed numerous times in school, and it gives me anxiety. But this sounds like it's more fun, so we'll
Based
go
on
with
the
it.
physics of all these lights and everything, the photon. Yeah, it's all about lights. That's all it's about. So that's good. You're not going to fail tonight. And as always on the bomb there, we have Mr. Dwork, the boggling with the most. He's my
Work.
Yeah, Dwork's in the house. So pretty much I was supposed to have your brother on for this one, obviously, because we met on 80s Toys from my attic in 2014 on a post I did about Photon. And he's like, dude, I was there too in Wildwood. We both went to the same spot, and you guys from New York. From there, we're wrestling fans. We went to WrestleMania together. We went out we went to San Francisco. We went to Dallas. We went down to Orlando. We've been all over doing WrestleMania. And then I met you because we all went to the same show for the SummerSlam up in Brooklyn. And so it all started from this post that I'm
All
talking
photon.
about.
Photon started it all.
As crazy as it is, yeah, it actually, I believe we were more successful than the product that I wrote about, but that's another story. So anyway, as a kid, there was two choices in life. You could either be a photon kid or you could be a laser tag kid. Could you please put up the first slide there, Dwork? Let me show you what we're dealing with here. Here's the ads. Now, I used to think I would say laser tag looks cooler, but I'm looking at these two kids. They're both pretty big nerds. I don't know if there's any dressing off the fact that no matter who wears this, I don't know if either of them are cooler. But I do think we're going to compare the two products. But I do think laser tag does look cooler. But man, these ads, they could have done a lot better. Like, how old would you say these kids are? What, like, is this?
Well, I'll go 7 or 8.
Yeah, I think I'm thinking the one on the left's even younger. Why aren't they selling to the older kids in these ads? I don't know. That's a question I have. But you look at the prices over there. They're pretty pricey for back in the day. Back in the 80s, those were pretty pricey. I was a photon kid back in the day. I don't know why. I can't remember the exact reason. I think it was probably I was just in the best catalog, Christmas catalog, and I happened to see the picture. I circled it. And you can see, if you look real close, it's called the Single Warrior, also known as the Kid with No Friends.
Well,
So
you probably thought it came with those cool ass pajamas too, so I'd understand why you.
I probably already had them. I probably thought that was me. It's speaking to me from the future.
That makes sense.
But yeah, so yeah, I don't know why anybody would put pajamas with a foot. I don't know. That kid's doing it all wrong. But yeah, I was the Single Warrior. I had an older sister, 9 years old, like I told you before, but I was pretty much like an only child in the fact that I was so young.
Right.
These were all my toys. So I went with the green helmet back in the day. And then Christmas, Christmas comes and everything. I get it. I'm like thrilled. I can't believe it. I go outside with my stupid outfit on. Everybody else is, they have laser tag.
Oh, shit.
Completely incompatible. I'll tell you, the one kid in town who had photon was Brian Sexton.
Yeah.
He was on the He-Man episode and the Transformers episode. He had a photon, but you know what his parents did? They bought him a photon and his brother laser tag. Now, I have no idea why to this day. I don't know if they were trying to create, separation from.
Well, that's a good way to say I love you more.
Who are they loving more in that situation? The laser?
Just based off this picture, I'm gonna go with photon.
You think photon? That's
it's a little more sleek. I'm not digging the box fake ass Boba Fett going on the left, but yeah, I like the photon.
Brian, you were the favorite, is what he's saying.
Right.
So here's the deal. Like, you see in the picture of photon, you have that right next to the red helmet. There's that that's for target practice. So if you're by yourself, you can shoot that. That's fun for about 5 minutes. So then me and Sexton would go out in the woods. We chase each other around, two idiots out in the woods, just shooting photon light at each other.
Right.
So you're supposed to have like teams and everything, like paintball is. It's me and one guy. So this love affair with me and photon did not last long. I'll tell you what I actually did at one point. I strapped that target onto my dog. I put it on its collar, so my dog would run around the yard, and I'd get target practice. I would shoot my dog with the light, and I would get points if I shot my dog the right way. And I love Teddy. I love Teddy, but Teddy he was a sport with it. I think he knew we were playing. I think he
Right.
knew he was trying to give me some street cred in the laser market too. But so Dwork, hit the next picture, please. Let's really compare these two. There you go.
Okay. See.
Do you still look at the guns? Do you
Yeah.
still feel the same?
See, maybe it was the profile in the first one. Yeah, the guns are definitely cooler on Laser Tag. I'm still not sold on the helmets in the boxy shape, but at least they have cool little decals on the side
I
and
like the
shit.
colors in the laser tag, though. I think the colors are pretty cool.
Right.
I don't know. But yeah, those were the choices back in the day. And most people, they were both very successful though. They both did pretty well in the years they came out. But laser tag, I just feel like I knew more people that had it. And I guess maybe that's why I've always felt kind of left out. Like the photon gun looks like something from a 50s sci-fi movie. It's very kind of cool looking back now, but back then it was like, I don't know. It's kind of
Now
weird.
was this before the major outer zone type where they had the setups where you go and you pay to play the legit laser tag setups with the
Right before.
This was before. Okay.
Yeah.
So this was all the rage, man.
Well,
Because
don't
no
get me
one's
wrong, I believe there was one big photon area in Dallas, I think it was. It
okay.
didn't span across, but they did have an arena. I don't know chicken or egg which came first, but
Gotcha.
I know for my area and your area, this stuff sold first. Then they started putting the stadiums.
Well before they put the
Yeah.
Got it.
So Dwark, hit the next one. We're going to see. So these are laser tag ads. And I think this is where Photon really screwed up actually, because every comic book I looked in, I saw that ad. And then you see the one on the right. Look what it says on the bottom. Find her before she finds you. Like Photon, they didn't even assume that you're going to meet women doing that. Like you just assume that if you're buying a single warrior,
Right.
you're not meeting women running around with a green helmet. Laser tag had the balls to sit there and say, you know what? We got some women playing with you.
Right. She could have a wonky eye and everything. I'd still let her find me.
You can't,
and we don't know based on this picture if she does or not, but
she might. But the option was there. Like you're like, wait, I might find a woman playing this game. So laser tag went with that comic book angle. That Jork, hit the next one too, please. And then they had I swear I don't even remember a Photon commercial. I don't remember them.
Now, was that a commercial or did they have like a little Saturday cartoon as well?
Well, that's coming up. But the top one where it says stadium not included,
gotcha.
That was the end of laser tag commercials. They would say stadium not included. I'm like, duh. I didn't even know there was a stadium. What are you talking about? But I remember them having very cool commercials. I don't remember seeing a Photon commercial. I'm sure they obviously existed.
Right.
But this was in comic books. This was in Sharper Image. This was on commercial. And then you're talking about the cartoon down there. That's laser tag. Now, laser tag had a cartoon, and I mean, you can just look at it. It sucked. It was horrible. It was on for one season. This guy, he appears to be shooting the ground. So, he didn't have enough wherewithal to strap one onto his dog and make the dog run around. He's just shooting at the ground.
What a noob.
Now, Photon had like a live action show. I don't even remember it. I gotta be honest with you.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
It probably sucked. That was on for a year. This was on for a year. I think probably going cartoon is the better way. Animation. I mean, if you're talking like kids, I don't know, a live action Photon show is the way to go.
Right, especially in the 80s.
Yeah, especially in the 80s. So all this is happening. I'm really starting to feel like a complete loser because I have Photon. Nobody's playing with me. I'm running around chasing my one friend in the woods, or I'm chasing my dog. And then in 1987, something magical happened. I am down the shore every year. Me and my parents and I, we went down to Wildwood for the week. And, there would be Dracula's Castle, the roller coasters. But this particular year, there was this magical building right across from Dracula's Castle, actually. And it said Photon in big giant letters. I said, now what the hell is this? Have I finally found my people? Has the single warrior, has the lone wolf, has he finally found his people? And he did. So Sean, Dork, can you please hit the slideshow, please? There it is. That's it. That beautiful place took over my entire week in Wildwood.
And that was right on the Wildwood Boardwalk.
Yeah, you can see if you go up that ramp, that's the boardwalk. Right to the right, if you go up to the right, that's where the boardwalk was.
Wow.
And yeah, it was right off the boardwalk. So we go in there, and I'm looking. When you first go in, it's completely dark, and I'm sure I know they have laser tag places now, and they're probably not a big deal, but this did not exist back then for me. So I go in, and you look down, and you see this giant arena with people running around, and it's dark, and they got smoke machines, and it's completely crazy. They got neon lights all over the place. It looked insane, especially being a kid my age. What was I, 11 or 12 years old, I guess. What was I? Yeah, 12. Could have been 11. So I go in there with my dad and my mom, and my mom's going to stay up and watch the arena, watch us do it. So me and my dad go in. Can you hit the next picture, please, George? There's me and my dad back then, getting all suited up and everything. I'm just kidding. That's not us.
I was going to say,
that's a picture off of the internet. But you can play pretend. But we looked just as dorky as them. So if you play pretend, yeah. But yeah, that's not me and my dad. That's some other guy. I'm stealing their thunder. But that's how we dressed up. So they put you on a team, and then there's the other team, and I'm like super excited and everything. Because my dad, he was Second Force Recon back in the Marine Corps during the Vietnam days.
shit.
So he's he knows what he's doing. He's been in the military. I'm like, me and him we're gonna kick some ass. So hit the next slide. Let me show you what it looked like in there. So obviously, wherever my dad served in the service, didn't look like this.
Not unless he served in Tron.
Yes, unless somehow he served in Tron. It didn't look like this, but that does look like Tron, doesn't it? So completely out of his element, and he obviously he's shooting a photon gun. It's so. What happened is we kind of lost each other in the maze or whatever, and I'm thinking, I'm sure he's doing fine. I wrap around, I see this group of kids and this man in a corner like this, and they're just shooting him. It was something else what I saw. And I said, Dad, are you all right? And he's like, I don't know what I'm doing in here. He just screams, and all hell broke loose. I'm like, just shoot him back. So he was completely like out of his element there, obviously. And I'm running around. I don't know what I'm doing either, but all I had was a dog I shot at for a few months. So I didn't know what I was doing. So you get out of the place after all was said and done. My dad, he looked like he was just in a war, like a laser Tron war.
Digital
a digital
apocalypse.
Yeah, he completely, yeah, it was crazy. So hit the next slide, George, please. Here's what happens when you come out. You get to see your scores.
Right.
I'm all like, hey, I think I did pretty good. But you see some of those over there, they're like -170. Those are the people that are just getting shot. And I mean, our scores were horrendous. I had a great time in there, but my dad was like, he's like, I think I've had enough of this for the day. So
Never again.
Never again. Yeah, always remember. So so him and my mom, they're like, listen, we're going to pay for you to do this all day. We're going to go walk the boardwalk. Now that sounds crazy nowadays, right?
Right.
That was the 80s. That's what parents did. Your brother actually told me his story. You guys were at like a campground type thing.
Mm-hmm.
He just met this kid there, and the kid had his dad there. And he said, your dad just let him and this kid and this complete stranger take your brother all day to this place. And nowadays you wouldn't even think of doing that. But that's just how things were. So they left me there all day, and I played all day long. And I started to learn the tricks. You know, you put your hand over your head where the sensor is. You start juking and jiving. You go for the big glowing orb ups. You blow that up. So I started getting the hang. I started getting pretty decent score at it. I was loving it. So I spent all week at that place. Like I think they probably just brought me there like almost every day. It was so much fun.
Just another memory of the shore, man.
Another memory of the Jersey Wildwood Shore. Where now did you go there too? Did you go to Wildwood when you were younger?
Well,
Or
all the time. Yeah.
yeah,
So it's funny because when you talk about the arena and the stadium setup they have, when I mentioned outer zone before, so up here we had outer zone, which is essentially the same thing. Now, outer zone didn't have its own toy line where you could buy them at Christmas and practice in your backyard on your dog and shit.
well,
But you
can't
know,
have it all.
exactly, you couldn't have everything. But you spend however many dollars to get into the laser tag arena. They put a vest on you. There was no helmet, but they put this big ass vest on you. And you got to remember, in 5th grade, I weighed a whopping 55 pounds, and they put this 45-pound vest on me. And
Yeah.
I'm trying to run through this little digital field, and I'm just getting my ass whooped. But that was essentially the same thing. And this was in the 90s, though, where things probably got a little technically better, but I guarantee it wasn't as much fun, especially it sounds like something that you only did when you went on vacation to the shore, and it was
Yeah, we didn't have it like down the street or whatever.
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah. It wasn't
But
as easily accessible, and I think that's a part of the lore of those things back then because it was a special time
oh
and it
yeah,
was
it's one
something
of
that
my fondest memories. Yeah, just even that one game my dad played or whatever. Like, or he might have done a couple actually. I don't remember completely back then,
right.
but I think he had fun doing it. You know what I mean? I think he's probably in the back of his mind saying that these little jerk offs that are abusing him with laser beams.
Just
He's probably
taking
like,
liberties with me. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, go outside, I'll give you one of these. But no, he had fun doing it. I think it was a good experience. But so there's that. So what was the downfall of Photon? People might want to know why don't we hear about Photon today? We still hear about laser tag, here and there.
Right.
And here's the reason. Hit Dwork. You guys are going to recognize this.
Oh, here we go again.
Tech. Another company that was involved with EnterTech. So once again, these lawsuits, because if you didn't see the last podcast about LJN, these lawsuits cost them so much money. People were robbing banks with these. People were getting shot with these because they look like real guns.
Jeez.
So it was the downfall of LJN Toys and Photon, it turns out. So that's where that happened. But
it's a couple knuckleheads got to ruin everything, dude.
yeah, exactly. So I got a surprise for you. I'm gonna turn my video off really fast. Give me 1 second, please. We'll edit this to make it look quicker, right?
I'm amped up for this. Let's see what we got.
What I got here.
Dun, dun, dun.
Can't wait to see how cool this looks. What's Dork doing over there? Settle down, Dork. There he is. Okay. Y'all ready for this?
Let's see. Oh man.
What I got.
Of course you still have it. Of course you still have it.
My head's a little big for it. No, I don't still have it.
Oh, it's not.
Here's the deal. I don't sell toys. I don't give them away, but I always traded my NES. I always upgraded to Genesis and then Super. I always did that. This was one of those toys that at a yard sale, it was electronics. Sometimes electronics I didn't mind. My action figures, I would never give them away. Electronics,
Right.
I sold this thing. So 2 weeks ago, when I knew I was going to do this, I went on eBay. I'm like, let me check out what it sells for or whatever. And it was like in the box, $250, $300. Then all of a sudden, one was sitting completely. Now, don't get me wrong, the box is open, but got the box. It was all sealed up, but it was obviously open and played with, and I'm fine with that. $35.
Wow.
Boom. That's what I call killing right there, right?
There you go, man.
I
Looking
killed
like
it.
a regular old space cadet right
I'm a
there.
I look ridiculous though. Like, can you imagine this?
No, no, bro.
Can you imagine this on like a kid's head? Like it barely fit. Like, it's got to be gigantic.
That's
on
a good
kid's
fit for
head.
you, though.
It's
Good
it's
fit
it's
for
not
you.
bad, I guess. But yeah. So that's about all I got. That's my big surprise for the end. So much like Enertech does to every business that it's involved in, we're finished and we're done. Be sure to tune in next week for another podcast. And don't forget to hit like, don't forget to hit subscribe, join the Facebook page, join the podcast YouTube page, join it all. And
Turn on those notifications.
turn on those notifications. Thank you. Thank you again, Sean. Thank you, Dwork. It's been a
Always a
wonderful
pleasure.
night talking to you all night long. Take care.
Thanks, buddy.